Aaron Young doing a virtual interview for the Lindsay exhibition. Aaron, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I moved here when I was 15. We're originally from Iceland. Moved all over the place in Ontario and ended up laying down roots with my parents back, like I say, when I was 15. Married my wife Jennifer 30 plus years ago. And yeah, just very much try to be a community spirited person and do as much as we can to see our city forward is kind of my philosophy for what it's worth.
Can you tell us how you generated your interest in history and heritage?
I don't know if I'd say I generated it. I have a lot of love for our town, and obviously our town has a lot of heritage and a lot of history. We've got some incredible, beautiful buildings, and for those of us that really care about where we live, I mean, I think that's important to a lot of people locally.
And that's what made you want to restore the historic Baker Building?
Well, the Baker Building was a building that, we were obviously concerned, what the history of it was going to be if somebody didn't do something with it. It was in some disrepair. More importantly, and funny enough, it was where everybody hung out and played billiards when we were teenagers in high school. I mean, that's where you find me most days, would be down there playing pool.
Well, that's great. You perpetuated a tradition, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some of the challenges that you faced when you were doing the restoration?
Other than just the sheer, size of the building, it's funny, a lot of people ask, and that very question of challenges with the city and different things like that. And honestly, we didn't have a whole lot. I mean, the city was really great to work with. And I think they were excited to see what we had planned come to fruition, and I think that was important to ourselves and the group of investors. Jennifer and I very much, as you can see by the finished product, had a vision for what we wanted it to be and look like and be at the end of the day, and I think I think we accomplished that. I think everybody that was involved did a great job, from construction to engineers to everything else. I mean, I think it's absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, well, I think the final product certainly tells the story of all of the effort that went into it.
Yep.
Now, this is the 75th anniversary of victory in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea of the role that the Baker Building played in 1945 in Lindsay?
I do not.
Well, I guess there were people playing billiards back then.
Okay.
I assume so, anyway.
Yeah.
Probably popular with the troops if there were any here.
Right.
Do you have any family who served during the Second War?
Yeah, my granddad, Frank Yeomans, served in the American military. Hence my Icelandic heritage. He ended up serving in Iceland on behalf of the Americans, and ended up meeting up with my grandmother, and the rest is
well, that's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah, he was a great man.
So you were from Iceland, so you were born there?
No, actually, I was born here, and then my family and I moved over there immediately thereafter, which I spent the first number of years of my life there, and then subsequently every year after that we would go back and visit, and that's how I learned how to speak. And I have a lot of my family still over there. My sister was born there. My brother was born here, so yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Those are really interesting ties to have. Do you have any other heritage business interests?
I wouldn't say directly. I mean, if anything ever, kind of crept up and there was things that needed to be looked at or talked about or anything about, Jen and I are really open to, doing, whatever we can within our limited capacity to see, Lindsay and the city of Kawartha Lakes just be as beautiful as it is, and keep that going forward. We don't want to see buildings demolished and big fancy new high rises put up and things like that. I think there's a lot of character downtown, and I think it just speaks very well for the city.
So that's how you'd see your interest in heritage evolving over the years.
Yeah, I mean, everything evolves, like how it's going to evolve. It'll be time will tell. But you know, I think that at the end of the day, we don't want to lose what we have. I mean, there's a lot of cities you go into and you see them demoing these gorgeous old buildings because it's cheaper to knock them down than it is to refurbish them. And you know, the Baker building was, I mean, it was a big financial endeavor. You know, and
But you're happy with the way it worked out?
oh my God, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's spectacular. It makes you smile when you look at it. And Jen and I are often out with people, and you know, they get comments about, you know, how incredible it looks, and yeah, it's turned out pretty good.
Do you have any thoughts on how Kawartha Lakes might develop a heritage economy?
As long as I think if we keep restoring some of the buildings that we have, and just really focus on not losing that. You know, there's obviously a lot of politics to be played, and there's, you know, a lot of economic factors to be played and whatnot. But you know, I think overall, I think we've done a pretty good job. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people like yourselves that are, you know, keeping an eye on things and making sure that certain aspects are adhered to. Don't agree with all of them, but you know, at the end of the day, everybody's got a different view. But you know, as long as the outcome is a positive one for our community, that's all we really care about.
Any other thoughts you'd like to add on how heritage could play a bigger role in either what you're trying to do or what the city's trying to do?
I've heard a bunch of things that the city is doing in respect to heritage for the downtown sector mainly. I think it's fantastic. A lot of these, you know, a lot of these apartments or dwellings above the businesses are a huge difficulty to try and make them accessible. And you know, I'd like to see a little bit of bending in that respect, so we could take these old apartments and refurbish them into some really nice condos, which I think would attract a good group of you know, investors or new incumbents to move into the city. I think it's a shame that these things are sitting there empty because of, you know, there's a lot of rules that are just you're unable to adhere to. So I think a little bit of bending there would be nice. But you know, overall, I think overall we're doing a pretty good job.
Well, I think you have done a wonderful job with the Baker Building, and thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
preserving that sort of heritage for everybody's enjoyment, really. That's
Appreciate it.
well, it's very important. You're not only public spirited, but it's nice to be public spirited and be able to make a little money at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was just something that came up, and the really cool part is that the gentleman who owned the billiard hall back in the day, he had his birthday there just shortly after we opened up, so that was kind of fun, and you know, and it put a smile on his face, so that was really nice.
Well, I think we're really fortunate to have people such as yourself in the community who, seeing that sort of an opportunity, have the ability to grasp it and make it a reality.
Yeah, I think, you know what, if people come up with some good ideas, you know, we were lucky enough, there was a group of people that jumped on board financially as investors to be part of the project. So, you know, kudos to everybody. You know, it just, Jen and I, it was our vision, our dream. That's what you see there, but I mean, without their help, it wouldn't have happened either.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
We much appreciate it.
Thank you.